Welcome to the ground floor. We are building a community of builders, operators, creators who are going to be our guests at the podcast, sharing their stories, sharing their journeys of how they got from zero to one, one to 100, and so on. And we would love for you to be part of this journey. So, my guest today is someone that has been in Dubai for 25 years. She spent 10 years in Emirates, and then she chose, she took that heavy decision to leave that comfortable job and then start something of her own. So, she's been building her catering business since the last 6 years, and she's here to share with us what doesn't get to the headlines. And we've really seen her word impact. Supriya Fernandes, welcome to the ground floor.
Thank you, Priyanka. Thank you for having me as you. And I'm super excited.
Now, Supriya, take me back to the moment when it all started. What was that decision that was the turning point for you? What was the trigger? Maybe, you were in this very comfortable corporate job. What happened? What was your calling? How did you move from Emirates to starting something in a very different line?
Wow. You actually gave me goosebumps with that questions because you're like, take me back. I actually went back there. So comfortable in my super amazing Emirates job, got to travel the world because my job involved a lot of traveling. I was doing the contracting for the holidays division of Emirates. And there comes a time in your life where I want to take a break. So literally the idea was just to take a sabbatical from the job, take a little break, and get back to corporate life. So took a break, and I was just sitting and chilling at home whilst looking for what next to do in terms of looking for another job. And I guess once you work for a brand like Emirates, then nothing is like, do I really want to do this?
Yeah.
That's when one of my friend literally forced me to buy his now our restaurant. It was my milestone birthday. We're having fun, and he's nice and high, and he takes me out, pulls me out of my own birthday party, and he's like, "Listen, to मेरा restaurant ले लिए कि I'm like, what? Listen, I'm selling my restaurant, and I want you to buy it." And I thought he's just happy high, and he's just saying something. And he's like, "Come tomorrow with a little deposit, and just come have a look at the restaurant." And I don't know what happens to me. I go there uh, to have a chat with him. We meet besides the restaurant, and he's like, "Listen, I have a lot of buyers who are ready to buy a restaurant with cash, but I think you should have the restaurant." I'm like, "Why would you say that?" Because that's not on my mind. That's not what I want to do. And there was absolutely no thought process of me getting into business or being an entrepreneur. And I'm like, at that point itself, I'm like, okay, let's do it. I'll take the restaurant. Not knowing what the cuisine would be, what I would do, how would I handle it, whatever. And I just come home and I tell my family, listen, this happened. And I got the restaurant, and my family, my husband, my sister, everybody were happy, but they were also like happily shocked. And this happened in Jan, and in 3 months, the restaurant was up and running.
Oh, me. I've got goosebumps
Yeah,
now.
but me too. So this was 2019.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so 2019 Jan is when he spoke to me. And because the restaurant was already built, it was just handover. We just had to change some paperwork. And you know how Dubai is very streamlined with all the documentation.
Yeah.
In April, we were up and running. I remember we also rushed it because it was going to be Ramadan the next day, and we thought we want to inaugurate it just before Ramadan. And something like I wanted to have outdoor seating. And this is the best part about Dubai. Yeah, I'd applied for it just like 3, 4 days prior. And we got the approval 1 day prior to the opening. And in the midnight, we finished the work and had the outdoor.
And the location of the restaurant is also spot on. I mean, you would pay a premium for the restaurant, I'm sure.
So I always call it the new Karama of Dubai.
Yeah.
Because you have your buzzing, amazing that side of Karama, and then you have this side of Karama. It gives you the nice business bay vibes. And the good part about Dubai, you have ample of parking. It's a less quiet, it's in a nice residential area. So genuinely, I do like the area. Yes, there are times when I cry when the walking is not as that much as compared to the other side of Karama, but I like the area here.
Tell me what your first event was like.
So
Maybe, yeah, just be as raw as you can. Give me the behind the scene. Give me the bhagdor that is happening. Give me the um. Don't sugarcoat. Just give me whatever happened.
So this is so me, no sugarcoating always, and I'm always a little scared about that part. So we didn't start as a caterer. We were a restaurant here. And surprisingly enough, or I would say to our good luck, uh, we've always done what our guests or our clients have asked us to do. So 1 month into the operations, within a month or so, one of the guests dining with us tells me that Supriya, I need catering. So we're just a restaurant. We didn't start off as a caterer. So she says, I need catering. And I'm like, we don't do catering. She's like, no, I want you to do catering. I'm like, we don't do catering. And wait then. I'm a new entrepreneur. I'm a new restaurateur. And hello, catering. Now what next? So she's like, I need this, our traditional curry, the prawn and potato curry. I need the bakri. I need rice. I want this traditional menu. I'm like, okay. And that's when I start talking to people. So my first catering for around 25 people was where I had rented out everything. My chefing dishes, what and all. But what I did is, I'm a big fan of crockery and cutlery. Even in the restaurant, we serve in a particular way of plate, which is the way then coolies would eat. So for me, even at home, nothing is disposable. So I wanted to cater in a way where, you know, we cater in a good setup. It needs to look good to the eye once our food is good already. And we rented out the chefing dishes and all of that. And we used our own plates from the restaurant as catering plates and the crockery. And amazingly, I think it was a good event, like an auspicious event for them. And I think that's how our catering, I would say, another field from our restaurant was blessed through our clients, and then we didn't stop.
Are you still in touch with that client?
Yes, very much. She's a dine-in client now and comes and dines with us once in a while. And surprisingly, the picture did fall onto my memory some days back. And I think it's a nice time to share from where we started to where we are now.
Absolutely. What a beautiful journey, right? It's just people like these that are, sometimes we say they are universe sent, right?
Yes,
they're just there to put that seed in your head, to get those juices flowing and, to get those creative thoughts flowing and convert. And I think credits to you that, these opportunities keep coming to us, right? It's just on us how we grab those opportunities.
Absolutely, because with my team, like catering is a lot of hard work. Yeah, there's so much that goes into it. But even my team loves it because as a business, you're getting that one time good piece of business as compared to where you wait at the restaurant, whether you have your deliveries or dine in. So, me and my team, we both love catering and, always getting into a celebration with people. I always say we're celebrating with people. I not put it across that we're catering for you. I always put it across that we're celebrating with you. So, be it a Diwali party or birthday party, and we being a part of them, and you know what, like they say, people might forget what the decors of the restaurant at the catering or the party, but they never forget what the food is, and that's where we always stand out.
My mom always says the root to people's heart is from their stomach. I think that's so Priya, you just touched upon celebration, um, that vibration, uh, just getting into that mood where just bringing people together. And also, maybe you can share with us your why you do what you do. And I've seen how you put your heart and soul into it. I've seen how your events are not just a transaction. What is your why? What keeps you going? what keeps you, showing up as this vibrant Supriya? And I think credits to you because that cascades down to your staff as well. That cascades down to the energy that they bring in the event. So just tell me, walk me through your why.
Priyanka, I must say most of your questions are really giving me goosebumps. I think it's a way of giving a lot of gratitude to yourself and to the universe to where you are at this point of time. When I started, there was no why. Like I told you, right? The restaurant was forced onto me. But today I know what's the why. It's mainly about serving people, it's about connecting with people. And I think I love building relationships with people. And, you know, this whole idea of connecting with people through food is absolutely what I love. And if you go deeper into the why, what I feel really is when I was younger, and because of what the restaurant is known for, Koli cuisine, yeah, people would say, "Oh, let's do a Koli dance, or let's do something Koli." Like, listen, I'm not wearing that outfit, so I'm not dancing. As a child, you want to be like, you want to stay away from your culture, you want to stay away from what your family is known for, and things like that, because you are in your own zone. And I think I was somewhere that, and I came to Dubai very young, where I left my family behind. And I think somewhere down the line, I was losing all of it, losing my values and my culture. And I think the universe had a nicer way to bring me back to my culture. And that's what it is. And today I am so, so proud. We are the torchbearers of the Koli cuisine. So, coming back to the story of how the restaurant started, after we took over the restaurant, I didn't know what to do. I'm like, what cuisine am I going to do? So, I'm a cafe girl. I love a good coffee, sitting with somebody, way than somebody. Now I love my me time with my coffee. So, I always thought I would have a cafe someday, not a restaurant. So I'm like, what do I do now that I've taken the restaurant? So when I would go back home, people would be like, hey, can you get me that bhakri or the dry fish that your mom makes? And that's when the idea came to me, again, was given that why not introduce Koli cuisine to the world? Now, what is Koli cuisine? Koli cuisine is what my mom, what a fisher folk of the Indian origin cooks in their homes. So I literally bought home cooked meals, seafood to be precise, to Dubai. And 7 years back, when we introduced Koli cuisine, nobody knew what is Koli cuisine. And today, it is on the culinary map, the Indian culinary map, and now global because we are in Dubai with what I thought of. Because now a lot of five-star hotels in India do a Koli festival. There are Koli restaurants in Dubai. So my vision is really come true. And I think that's my why through the restaurant. And then it built up onto catering, serving food again through people. Yeah. Because once one of our friends, corporate clients, would call our food for to celebrate their birthdays in office, which was normally biryani that we're known for in the catering department and otherwise as well. And she's like, Supriya, this time they want to eat Chinese, and I think because you don't do, I'll give it to somebody else. And you know how sometimes the chefs are, नहीं मैम मैं बहुत अच्छा Chinese बनाता हूँ आप मेरा खा के देखो kind of thing. And we do have special chefs, and we do have the all rounders that they call them. And he made some really great Chinese dishes. We gave them as samples. They loved it. And guess what? Chinese was next on to our catering and more on the live. So literally, Priyanka, it's like I didn't ask for it. It was really given to me. And then all I had to do is fulfill it through. And I just literally took it the way it came. And what better way could it be to learn on the job?
Absolutely. So Priya, you spoke about, your purpose being, bringing food and people together. And specifically in Korean cuisine, tell me, our viewers are from all over the world. They know Indian cuisine as Indian cuisine. Um, Max, we know about, there's North Indian cuisine, South Indian cuisine, but I don't think a lot of us know about what Koli cuisine is. So maybe just have me walk through what it is, where does it come from, and what's the specialty?
Yeah, I love it. I love it when I have to explain what is Koli cuisine, which didn't exist some time back, literally. So we are the torchbearers, like I told you, of the Koli cuisine. Koli cuisine is simple, staple seafood. Like how they say the farmers would get their vegetables out of their backyard and cook it daily. We Kolis, that's the community, get seafood off our backyard when they go deep sea fishing and cook it as a meal. So, your because it's India, it would be your pomfret, your bombil, your prawns, your kingfish, just 4 to 5 fish to count on. So predominantly seafood. Oli cuisine is very spicy and very greasy with a lot of oil, and that's what we've tweaked for Dubai. We've kept this Dubai as we call it the Dubai spice level, which is the good spice level, not making it super spicy and not making it super greasy. So it's simple staple food, seafood that's cooked at home. And Koli is a community, the unofficial community of Mumbai, and that's why, like I said, it's just a cuisine name that we've given it to it as Koli. The cuisine of the Koli people is Koli cuisine. Right. And there's one very differentiation which the cuisine made me do and we stand out there is all the seafood that we use is fresh and there is no frozen items. And I don't know again how this happened to me because I was a new restaurant here, yeah. So I knew a way how the Koli cuisine is cooked by my mom and my aunt and everybody. And so what I went is I went and mastered all the dishes myself. And then whoever was my head chef and my other chefs, I took them home and my mom and everybody trained them. So what is the another unique point about our cuisine is there are no preservatives in our food. So there is no soda, color, or anything else that normally goes into a commercial kitchen. And it's all freshly made. We don't own a Made Mary. And what we did is we carried that onto our catering. So all the food that you eat in our catering has no color, no soda, no preservatives, nothing whatsoever. Fresh, clean, and the top-notch ingredients.
See, Supriya, you spoke about Koli cuisine, and with the changing times now, people are getting diet conscious, calorie conscious, portion conscious. How do you see um, still catching up with these changing dietary? I won't say trends because they are all in the right direction. It's all going in the right direction. But how do you, as a business, catch up with these changing,
Well, again, a good question to put my thought into. Uh, the trends are created by people, and then sometimes we create our own trends. Because let me tell you, Priyanka, whilst there are so many trends, the favorites will always stay. Like your butter chicken, your chicken tikka masala, your tandoori chicken, your prawns, and so on. So the clients might request for the world, but they will still say, I need a butter chicken or a dal makhani. Now, with the trends, we create a lot of menu ourselves. We get into trends, and it's amazing that how our own clients tell us what they want as well. Recently, we did a Christmas party, and our clients wanted the wontons, the soupy wontons. And when they came to the restaurant to do sampling, they're like, no, Supriya, this is not what I want. I want those wontons where you have the soup inside. Now, with my brain fog, I don't know what's it called, some biryani or something. And we went and curated that. And I'm a little curator. I love curating it myself with my team. So we had to go and jello the broth, give it to a supplier who does the wontons for us, and then put it in the broth. So when they're steamed, you have a nice splash of the broth in your mouth. So a lot of times, clients do tell us what they want, and then we also do our version with it. Like someone wanted the Maharashtrian kala mutton, and my chef said, "Ma'am, I do it in a very nice way." But the client said he wanted the traditional kala mutton. So we did both, And surprisingly, he picked up what the chef made because, I think the chefs know what they're doing. So it's always about doing our own research. But I must say that the trend of your basics always stay. People are a bit health conscious nowadays, but for us, that always was right from the beginning because we never made greasy food, or we never added unnecessary spice to it. And there are times where you will have one or two clients saying, "Give me that extra spice." Well, as a caterer, you just carry that extra chain, yeah, and the chefs know what to do. So it's really not falling for the trends, but following the trend in a nice way is what we do with cuisine.
So far we've spoken about, your story from leaving your corporate job to buying a restaurant with no idea what to do with the space, to then figuring out that young Kohli girl in me is now bubbling up to come out and live, bring the cuisine out, bring the culture out. We spoke about your why. We spoke about how, your catering expanded. Uh, Tell me, those initial days of your catering business where you were, setting up your, or actually even your restaurant business. Where did the first, say 10, 20 clients, where did they come from? And actually, I'm asking you about not the family and friends clients, because they always make the first, say, five, six of them. But the challenge really comes when you've exhausted those. Yeah. What happens after that? Where do you get the next set of clients? Where do you get the the team to then, because it's chicken and egg, right? If you don't have orders, you don't have the team, and vice versa. So how do you tackle the first few months of the business when you are bringing the clients, you are also catering them, and you are then also in search for the new set of clients to keep the business going?
So I'll give you on both sides how it worked for us. So with the restaurant, again, we were supposed to have a consultant who was supposed to come on board and help us launch the restaurant. And he couldn't come on the day that we wanted, and we wanted to launch before Ramadan, and he did not come. And my chef said, "Ma'am, उसमें क्या है? Restaurant खोलना है, खोल दो." And I'm like, okay. And we literally took a leap of faith there. We didn't do a long session or the trial, and we just opened the restaurant. And because it was going to be Easter soon, we launched a set menu for Easter. And 2, 3 days, whatever, a week went by. All of a sudden, we started getting a lot of calls from India. So what had happened is during the inaugural, we wore our Koli attires and we did a little dance session outside the restaurant. And I went live from my personal Facebook. I don't even know if the restaurant had a Facebook page there. And somewhere, one gentleman who was passing by the restaurant came and clicked a picture with us in my traditional attire. And that picture got forwarded and viral in India. So the people in India made us viral in Dubai. We didn't do any kind of marketing then because we were still figuring out how we do this. And literally, Priyanka, by God's grace, we had a waiting of 1 hour and 50, 60 guests waiting at any given point of time for the first 3 months of us restaurant opening the restaurant. And that was truly magical. We had a little bite of us with me doing an interview for one of the local newspapers of Mumbai. So that's where the restaurant began, and that was my answer to myself that the cuisine is well accepted. Because our parents always live around the fear, right? That what if it doesn't work? And my dad is like, you know, do you want to give the restaurant the consultant's name, like, affiliated by or a group of? And that time I told my dad, like, no, uh, you wait and watch. I'm going to create history. I just said it like that. And I'm so glad I did because what happened is when the cuisine happened, like, I'm going to do the Koli cuisine, we didn't know what was the name of the restaurant. So I was in Mumbai waiting at a train station to take a train from Mumbai somewhere, Dadar or wherever to Vasai to cut my time on traveling on road. And they announced that, the typical platform number एक की गाड़ी अब. So they said Vasai local अब एक से दो पे जाएगी. That's how I got the name of the restaurant. And I called my family and I'm like, listen, I've got the name of the restaurant. And they're like, what is it? And in my mind, like, even if you don't like it, I'm going to keep it. And that's how even the name of the restaurant happened. And coming back to the catering, and trust me, that isn't now, even then. Of course, you do your marketing and you do whatever you need to do for the business. But for us, our clients have always come through. What we do is our food. So I'm at Priyanka's party. There's somebody else there. They taste the food. I'm like, oh, this is amazing food. We don't even have to carry our business cards there or say where we are from. Our clients do the talking for us. Indirectly, our food and our service do the talking for us.
Incredible, incredible. I think what stands out is when the why is strong, right? When why you want to do something is strong, it just cascades down to everything you do, and it just becomes a magnet of then people and referral and images going viral, people catching you on street in your costume, and amazing, incredible story. First 3 months and getting the queues of people outside your restaurant is a real testament
Yes, it was.
of whatever you're doing is working, the cuisine is working, the taste is working, the location is working. So Supriya, you started, we heard your story, you took that leap of faith, you had the time with you were on a sabbatical. What would your advice be to someone who is looking to start um, a catering business now in this point in time in 2026? What would your advice be? Should they be calculative a bit more, looking at the market, looking at, you know, um, the location, or you're just saying just go it, just do it, and just figure out what is your advice to someone who's starting now in 2026?
All right. Quote me or don't quote me, but go ahead, quote me. I always think whether it's catering, whether it's a restaurant, or whether it's any business that you believe in, just go ahead and do it. It's come to you because it was meant for you. Otherwise, it would not come to you. With the restaurant and the catering, I always still joke about it and say there are two people who get into the food business. One is that you're passionate about it, and two is you have loads of money and you don't know what to do with the money. I was the first one, getting on, working on becoming the second one. So, what I mean is, yes, you might start the business as passion, and then you want to look into the profitability and how you want to scale it. So, yes, start it as a passion. I mean, we're in Dubai, we're more streamlined where you can't run a home kitchen or anything like that. But when I was on my sabbatical, I made a batch of granola. My friend comes and scoops it and says, hey, oh, it's so amazing, you should sell it. And sitting at home, I sold 500 kilos by just word of mouth. So that was my turning point. I'm like, oh, let me do the costing. Will I make money on it? So my real thing to people is just go do it. If you love it, do it, and then eventually turn it into business and scale it, be it food or otherwise.
So don't chase perfection.
Yeah.
Just start.
And thank you for using that word because that is truly me. Yeah, I still do that in my business and in my catering. My team will do the setup and then I'll go and change something. And a lot of my time in business, I was chasing perfection. That I need to get it right. Like a simple example is when somebody wanted to white label us. Like, Surya, can I buy your food for my catering? Can I buy this? I'd be like, no. Why would I? I'm not getting the visibility. I'm not getting the brand name. Today, I know I have my own brand name, but at the same time, I need to pay the bills. So if I need to white label somebody, and somebody needs to buy that particular piece of business from me, I want to do that because that helps my business.
Tell me about something that I notice in this industry is that if I am the host, I am the one calling or looking for services for my event. I don't see, a place where you as a caterer would know, what is happening around me? Where can I go and collaborate with someone? It is always you waiting for that phone call or that WhatsApp message or something inbound, you know, to bring business in. What do you do in these cases? Or if that phone doesn't ring, what do you do to still expand? What do you do to still continue business or market? What do you do?
So, marketing is really one of the biggest source that I would say to get into business. But again, this market here is a bit saturated or in terms of seasonality. So we are super busy during the winter months, the best months that are in Dubai. There are times during Diwali we've done 7 caterings a day as well, because we see at that time dine-in is not very busy and we've shut our restaurant and done a lot of caterings. At the same time, summer is a bit quiet. So it's really up to us how we focus on, and we do that for us mainly. The social media part is there, but I believe, be it the restaurant or the catering, it's the relationships that we build with people, the basic networking. I always say, people say that your network is your network. I say it's a lie. You might go and network with so many people, but if you don't build that relationship with that people, and take this to another level, be it you. Now I've known you. What else through you? You could have a party tomorrow. Your friends could have a party tomorrow. I have met you and you've known that Supriya does catering. So marketing on social media is one aspect to it. The other aspect is really through networking and meeting people and really building relationships of what you're doing. It could be some simple thing as food sampling, calling people over for a meal, getting people to host at your restaurant. I think there isn't a single level that you need to follow. Mhm. Like they say, you follow the trends, but then for me, it's a lot of my intuition that I should do that. This works, let's do this. And that's how we just take it one step at a time. But if there is a system, no, there is no set system that X number of clients is what we will get during a particular period.
Yeah. Do you think technology will perhaps play a role?
Hmm. Well, a good thought process, yes, why not? I mean, technology is replacing a lot of things. I must admit that it might not replace the manual work that a chef does or a live kitchen does. Tomorrow it would, but I'm still a believer of adding a personal touch to everything. But yes, to streamline things, if you want to navigate your particular orders, like how you have your SEOs where we fall on top of the page and things like that. If there is any way, I mean, as a business, if technology is helping me get the business, then why not? I would love to have technology around catering as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Supriya, tell me something that surprises people that nobody knows about you.
Wow. So there are many things that I'm known for, being the strict one and the stern one. But one thing that most of the people don't know about me, that I'm very spiritual. And what I mean by that, my definition of being spiritual is not going to the church. That's the faith that I follow. It's about basic uh, being humble, humility, empathy, and I think again, this has come over a period of time because I do believe that it's very important for us to be humble and empathize with people who need the most. Mhm. And why I say that is that's the culture that we built in our restaurant and our catering of giving respect to get respect in return. My team members have already been trained by that, and we live by that as to how we treat people. And that's exactly how my team members are treated. Like the ladies, especially who are catering, they love my voice. They're like, can you do this for me? Can you do this for me? Or can you send this particular staff member only? And I think that is when how you behave with people. So really being humble with people who need the most, like my servers or team members, is very, very important.
Wow. I'm just curious, how does this help when you have that pressure of delivering a 200 people catering event, intense, things maybe going out of your control. How does this side of you help in managing and still, rising from these situations?
Oh, I must tell you, this situation definitely doesn't happen when it's catering. I'm all over the top. I'm yelling at my boys and all of that. So if you think when I say I'm being humble, I'm being nice to my team, and that's not what I mean. We are pulling our hair.
Yeah.
They are talking back. I'm talking back. All that happens. But at the end of it all we know is we are there to fulfill an order. But after that, they know who am I, and I know who they are. And for us, it's very important. And be it catering or otherwise, there are situations when you're handling a particular order. I might hear, whatever. But at the end of it all, we leave that here and then we go back and serve what we're supposed to serve. Like you'd see my team members at a party, they are always giving. And the team will be like, ये कितना खिला रहा है बस हो गया. And they see that as an intention in my team members. And for me, that's my biggest win when they say that, जो भी कर रहा है दिल से कर रहा है. And I think that's where it stands to.
Absolutely. And I can attest it because I have personally experienced it.
Thank you so much.
As they say, right? That's the difference between being nice and kind.
Yeah.
And I could just take that away from this conversation, with you. Being kind is when you are strict where you need to be, but you're also supportive where you need to be. You're also wearing that training hat where you need to be, or mentoring where you need to be, and you're also hurting when it needs to be.
Oh, yes, absolutely. They might forget their most important ingredient once we had a chart counter and they're like, ma'am, I'm like, Pabhi kya? Dahi bhul gaye.
Oh,
So, it's a part of the game. It's how you accept it. And at the end of it all, I know that they can call on me and say, "Ke dahi bhul gaye."
Yeah.
That's what I love about it. I mean, minus all the pulling of the hair. I mean, there's so much of hard work. And I really want to say this that, when people really haggle us for the price, they think, oh, why is it a 50, 60, or 100? It's not that alone. There's a lot that goes before the catering event. Like, for example, it's a 4-hour event, 2 hours of starters, 2 hours of mains. But how we plan and what time we leave, what time we do, all the preparation that is done, and after the event, the clearing and all of it. It's a lot of hard work, and that people and I want really our guests, which they do, to really appreciate all the work that goes in there.
I can clearly see, you don't do it for the compliments or the appreciation, because that is really the byproduct, and that has to happen when you give this level of service and this level of experience to your clients. Those referrals, those reviews, those compliments, they will 100% come because there is no other way.
There's no other way, absolutely. And like you mentioned about this, yeah, that is there a system and there's a technology, and that's where I say that we've built in a lot of reference through not only the guests, but also the people who are on the venue. For example, I'm the caterer and I have a supplier who provides the seating. I have a bartender, I have the DJ, and then we've gone and built relationships with them. Because if somebody needs a DJ now or a bartender, I'm like, hey, listen, you speak to them. And then when somebody needs catering, they'll be like, I was at this catering. Would you want to cater there? And that's where the referral fees also come in. I don't like to call it commission. I'm like, the DJ says, man, I've given you this part of business. I'm like, great, I'm good to pass on a referral fee to you. And that's again a win-win situation where everybody gets a good share of business.
Absolutely. Energy exchange, what they say in the world of spirituality.
Absolutely.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, Supriya, now we are in the final and, the one part of this session. We have curated a quick rapid fire to just get some behind the scene stories, some stuff that doesn't get shared, stuff that doesn't come out very easily. So just be as open, as raw as you can, and really short, quick answers. So finish this. Most people think catering is glamorous. The truth is,
It's a lot of hard work.
what's the one piece of advice that changes how you run your business?
Just do what you think is right.
Yeah, yeah. What's the moment that made you think, I can't believe this is my job?
Learning that I left a 9 to 5 only to do a 24-hour job.
Nice one. Describe the most chaotic event that you have ever catered.
Wow, yes, this cannot be on a short answer. So, we actually catered for a local client, and it was a wedding reception of the ladies. And I couldn't rent out or hire lady chefs. So, I actually got my girlfriends, trained them a little on how to run a chart counter, but actually behind the scenes, uh, under the black curtain, my chefs were doing the job and handing us plates from under the table.
Wow. What's something every person who hosts a party should know?
That give us the right number of people. Even your 100 people in the house, five family members are supposed to be counted and give us the right number. It's very
Wow.
important.
What is the one thing that will always be on your menu no matter what?
Well, not my favorite, but the whole world's favorite, butter chicken.
I knew it. This is what I.
And dal makhani, that's my favorite.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of butter chicken, but everybody loves butter chicken.
Yeah, yeah. There's no Indian cuisine without butter chicken.
Absolutely. And the biryani and so more.
The meal that started it all.
The meal that started it all was the tandoor. So anything tandoor, the chicken tikkas, the live roti naan, and all of it.
One thing that guests do at events that drives you insane.
Oh, yes. Oh, my God. So it's 2 hours of starters and 2 hours of mains. And they'd be like, oh, we'll tell you when it's mains. We'll tell you when it's mains. And then we need an hour or so to set up the mains. And they're like, khana laga do. Let the mains be started. And then we are just on our toes to do it. But we've learned our lessons. We know approximate time and we're ready when they tell us to be ready.
Last question. If catering didn't exist, where would you be?
Wow. I think I would be on the plane. I love traveling. Uh, I've got a great chance to travel the world. And even as a child, I always wanted to be a travel host. So I would definitely be traveling.
Wonderful. Thank you for being so sporty with our rapid fire. There's no hamper for this, unfortunately.
I'll take a coffee. That's all right.
Wonderful. So as we just get to the end of this episode, Supriya, what is the next, say, 3 years or 5 years? How are they looking for you? What are your plans with your restaurant, with your catering, or anything new that is in the pipeline?
One of our clients on the initial days told us, Supriya, that make sure that someday when you cater for the Sheikh His Highness, you do not reject our bouquet. So I'm really working towards that. It's really my dream. I have a dream project for the restaurant where I'm looking to collab with His Highness, who we famously known as Fazza. That's on the restaurant side. On the catering, I really want to build onto a little different high-end style, the little bites that are coming in, but how to do it differently, serve it differently, and keeping in mind the niche of still being great food with great sauce.
Supriya, thank you from the bottom of my heart for your time, for your honesty, and for letting us into your journey, sharing those parts of your journey that I'm sure are very valuable for our users, for us. When the why is powerful, it really reflects. It reflects in how you start something, how you build something, how you build that team, how your events stop being transactional and, become more personal to you. It reflects in, your values and these conversations, really. So, thank you once again, Supriya, for being so honest and for your time and for sharing it.
Thank you, Priyanka. Thank you for having me over as your inaugural guest. And I must say, a lot of your questions have building onto me, got me thinking a lot more, especially on my why, because I'm a big fan of Simon Sinek with his book, What's Your Why? And it's amazing how your why, you know what your why is, and then you enhance it further. So thank you for such an amazing conversation. And it was lovely to be in conversation with you and speak my heart out. Thank you.
Thank you. Pleasure. Pleasure is ours. And to you all listening, thank you for tuning in. If you found something valuable in this podcast, please share it with whoever needs to hear it. And follow us. I have dropped all the links in the description below. Follow Supriya, follow the podcast, and like, share, and subscribe. Follow the show, The Ground Floor, powered by Pyro. See you next time. You, Supriya. Welcome to the third floor. Wrong. Third floor.
Just do that line. Just say welcome, Supriya, and
थर्ड फ्लोर थर्ड फ्लोर ये ऑफिस का थर्ड फ्लोर है दैट्स व्हाई
you know what? You
Follow the show, The Ground.
BTS.
Follow the show, The Ground Floor, powered by Pyro. See you next time.
ओके
Congratulations.